Hello, welcome in everybody. Test, test. Hello, welcome in.
Second test with our new microphone. Let's see how it sounds. Second test with our new microphone. Let's see how it sounds.
Yep, it sounds good.
Second test with our new microphone. Let's see how it sounds.
Yep, it sounds good.
Second test with our new microphone. Let's see how it sounds.
Yep, it sounds good.
Second test with our new microphone. Let's see how it sounds.
All right, there. Good. 3, 2, 1, action. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Just give me a minute. Today we are going to be reacting to a famous YouTuber, aka Zach D Films Copycat. There we go. And that's none other than his stories. Today we are going to be reacting to him. Also, welcome to everybody that is in the channel. or that is going to be commenting soon or later. But welcome everybody. But yeah, like I was saying, today we are going to be reacting to his stories and yeah, and see like what's it about. I know who this, well, I don't know him in real life, but his videos are entertainment and yeah. So hopefully you do enjoy, and let's start with one of his videos. Let's start with My Best Friend Stole My Life. Let's start with that one.
I love your new lamp. I got it on Facebook Marketplace. Look at this one. It's
Drew threw a kid through a plate glass window at a house party. The glass exploded across the front lawn, and the kid landed on his back in the bushes with blood pouring down his face. And Drew was standing over him with his fists still clenched, screaming at him. People were running. Someone was calling 911. I grabbed Drew by the arm and dragged him around the side of the house so hard he stumbled. Someone had already called the cops. I could hear sirens and blue light pulsed through the trees at the end of the block. And as soon as he realized what he had just done, it all hit him at once. Drew grabbed me by both shoulders and shook me so hard my teeth rattled, tears and snot running down his face. If this goes on my record, I lose my scholarship. You don't have anything to lose. I have everything on the line. You owe me this. I shoved him off me, and my heart was pounding with panic. I have a scholarship too. I know, and I'll protect it. I swear. I'll go to coach the second year out, and I'll help you prove it wasn't you. I'll tell them everything. I just need time. He dropped to his knees on the pavement and gripped the front of my jacket with both fists. 1 month. You'll do 1 month, and when you get out, I will fix everything. Your scholarship, your girl, your spot. I swear on my life. Drew had been my best friend since 3rd grade. The sirens were on our street. I grabbed the front of his shirt and pulled him up off his knees. I was terrified of what I was about to do, but I said yes. I took the plea. 1 month in juvenile detention. My lawyer told me I was throwing my future away, and I signed the paper anyway. My mom was in the front row, and when the judge read the sentence, she let out a sob so loud the whole courtroom turned, and the guilt hit me so hard I couldn't breathe. Drew was in the back row with his eyes on the floor, and he wouldn't look at me. My girlfriend grabbed both my hands in the hallway. She pressed her forehead against mine. 1 month is nothing. I'll wait. She squeezed my hands so hard her rings dug into my fingers. Write me every day. Every day. She kissed me, and I held on, and the grief of leaving her was so sharp it tasted like metal. Drew was waiting at the bottom of the courthouse steps. He pulled me into a hug and gripped the back of my head. 1 month. I'll be here every single week. You won't even notice you're gone. He grabbed...
So, I can still speak because this is a reaction video, so that's not really a good friend right there. Like, letting your friend take the blame, sorry, isn't really a good friend. But, I don't know, what do you guys think is gonna happen when he gets out or something like that? Let me just fix the comments real quick there. What do you guys think? Comment down below. What do you guys think is going to happen when he gets out? It says in the thing, in the title, that my best friend stole my life. So let's see what happens.
The front of my jacket and shook it gently. Your spot at the table, your seat in the locker room. I'll keep it all warm. He tapped the team logo over my chest. And the second you're out, I go to coach and we fix this. They put me in a van with blacked out windows, and I was so terrified my teeth were chattering. I slammed my palm against the glass. My mom was on the sidewalk rocking back and forth, and Drew was next to her with his hand on her shoulder. The van turned the corner and they disappeared, and I slammed my palm against the glass one more time, and nobody was there to see it. The facility smelled like bleach and sweat. They took my clothes and my phone and gave me a gray jumpsuit. A kid twice my size looked up from his bunk when they put me in my cell. What are you in for? I couldn't answer because my jaw was locked shut. He laughed.
I forgot this was juvenile. I thought that this was jail, and I was like, why is there another kid in there? And I forgot it was juvenile, not jail.
You'll talk eventually. I lay on the mattress and pulled the blanket over my head, and I was so scared I shook until the lights went out. Someone was crying 3 cells down. A guard's boots echoed in the hallway. I kept shaking in the dark and told myself Drew would fix this. Drew promised. The lights came on at 6 and went off at 10, and every hour between was the same gray walls and the same gray food. Visiting day was Saturday. I showered and combed my hair and sat at a table in the visiting room, and every time the door opened, I jerked upright. Other kids moms and girlfriends and brothers filed in and hugged them. An hour passed. The door stopped opening. The room emptied. A guard tapped my shoulder. "Nobody's coming, kid. Back to your unit." The humiliation burned so hot my face went red. I shoved back from the table so hard the chair flipped, and I stormed back to my bunk.
See, this is the weird thing, and sorry for pausing it here. Drew isn't there, his mom isn't there, and his girlfriend isn't there either, I mean. So that's the weird thing. Like, if they miss him, why don't they go and visit him? But, yeah, continuing.
And punched my pillow until the seam split. One letter from Drew, 3 sentences. "Holding it down for you, bro. Everyone says hi. Miss you." I pinned it to the wall and read it so many times the paper went soft. I called Drew from the facility phone and he didn't pick up. I called again. Voicemail. I left a message. "Drew, pick up the phone. I'm in here for you." I called my girlfriend. She picked up and sounded far away. Things are just really busy. I could hear music in the background and a laugh that sounded like Drew's, and she said she had to go and the line went dead, and I was...
That means that they're either having a party or something else is happening. If you guys know what I mean, or something else, you would know. But about what he just said, sounds like it could be a party, not something suspicious like you guys think. Continuing.
So sick with dread, I slammed the phone into the receiver so hard the cradle cracked. My mom visited. She sat across from me, and she looked like she'd aged 5 years. She
At least she visited.
reached across and held my hands and wouldn't look at me. "What?" She pulled out her phone and slid it across the table. A video.
Vinted to the rescue.
That means something bad right there. Like, totally bad right there.
Sell what your kids don't need and earn some extra money back.
Could be bad, could be good.
Quick snap.
It's totally bad.
Upload your toy.
She pulled out her phone and slid it across the table. A video. I pressed play, and my hands started shaking so hard, I dropped the phone on the table. Drew at a house party, my jacket on his back, my girlfriend under his arm, my teammates around him. He was standing on a table doing an impression of someone, and everyone was laughing, and the camera panned to my girlfriend.
I knew it. I didn't pause it though. Oh yeah, I did. Anyways, I knew it. She was cheating.
And she was leaning into his chest, wiping tears from laughing, and he leaned down and kissed the top of her head, and the room
Cheater!
cheered. He was doing my celebration, the one I did after every touchdown. Arms out, spin, point at the crowd. He'd stolen that too. I shoved the phone across the table so hard it almost went off the edge. When was this? 2 weeks after your hearing. She pressed her hands flat on the table. A parent sent it to me. He's been telling everyone you were violent, that you attacked someone at the party, and he was scared of you. I slammed
That is so not true.
my fist on the table and the guard flinched. He said he'd protect my scholarship. Baby, she squeezed my hands. He went to coach with your recommendation letters. He used them to apply for your spot. He has your scholarship. I shoved back so hard the chair tipped and the guard stepped toward us. I grabbed the table edge and pulled myself back and pressed my forehead against the metal and closed my eyes because Drew had used my own letters to steal my future. A kid from my school got transferred.
Now I get it, and I knew already about this, that either his girlfriend or his friend was gonna do it, and he said right there, his friend Drew stole his life, and by that, like, he stole the scholar and all of that.
He told me Drew had been telling everyone I was dangerous, that I snapped at the party, that he'd been scared of me for years, that he needed a restraining order. I counted the days on the wall next to my bed, scratched them in with a pen cap. Every mark was one day closer to making Drew answer for what he did. Release day. My mom was in the parking lot. Nobody else came. I shoved through the gate and the sun hit my face.
So that's why they didn't came to visit him or nothing like that, because they were at a house party.
And my mom
Also, guys, comment down below if you guys have ever been, made, or attended a house party, because I definitely haven't.
sprinted across the parking lot and crashed into me, and I could feel how much weight she'd lost. She drove me home. I drove to school, and my hands were strangling the steering wheel. I shoved through the front doors, and the hallway went quiet. A girl I'd known since middle school crossed to the other side when she saw me. My old lab partner grabbed his bag and walked the other direction. I passed my English teacher and said good morning, and she flinched and looked at the floor. I turned the corner toward the cafeteria and stopped dead. My lunch table, Drew in the center, my jacket on his back, my girlfriend next to him, my teammates around him laughing. He had taken everything, and I was so furious, I kicked the cafeteria door open so hard it cracked against the wall. I shoved through the cafeteria doors and walked straight to the table, and every step felt like concrete. The table went silent. My girlfriend pulled her head off Drew's shoulder, and her face went pale. Drew looked up at me, and his face was blank. "Oh, hey man, good to see you. How was it?" "My scholarship. Dude, you were gone. Coach had to fill it. You used my recommendation letters." He shrugged. "Things happen. You said you'd go to coach. You said you'd fix everything. And it is." He leaned back and spread his arms across the bench. "I'm here, aren't I?" He picked up his drink and took a long sip and smiled at me like I was a stranger asking for directions. Every person at that table dropped their eyes except Drew. I set my tray down and turned and shoved through the cafeteria doors and bit the inside of my cheek until I tasted copper. I went to Coach's office. He leaned back in his chair. Drew came to me with strong letters and a clean record. The scholarship was reassigned. I gripped the arms of the chair. Those were my letters. I wrote those essays. That was my scholarship. I understand how you feel, but the deadline for reinstatement is end of this week. You'd need Drew to withdraw his application, and I'd need proof the original recommendation was yours. I gripped the arms of the chair so hard my knuckles cracked. "That will never happen." "Then I'm sorry." He stood up, and I could see the plaque on his desk with Drew's name already engraved on it. 1 week. Drew's ceremony was Friday. The whole school would be there to watch him accept the scholarship.
D-R-E-W. Drew. Groot. Is that Groot's brother for any chance?
He stole from me. I found my girlfriend at her locker. She slammed it shut when she saw me coming. "Don't. Just listen to me for 30 seconds. Drew told me what you did. You attacked someone. You're dangerous. He lied. He threw that kid through the window and I took the blame because he begged me." She shook her head and backed away. "That's not what he said." "Of course it's not what he said. He took my scholarship and my girlfriend and told everyone I'm a monster and you believed him." She turned and walked away, and I slammed my fist into the locker next to me so hard the metal caved in, and everyone in the hallway jumped. My old lab partner was at his locker. I walked up to him. "You know me. You've known me for 3 years. Does any of this sound like me?" He wouldn't look at me. "Drew said you threatened him with a knife." "I have never held a knife in my life. I don't know what to believe, man." Drew showed us screenshots. He showed us texts where you said you wanted to hurt people.
AI. And that is how AI takes over the world. Sorry. But that's how AI takes over the world, with all of those nonsense.
Faked those. I don't know that. He closed his locker and walked away, and I kicked the locker next to his so hard the metal dented, and everyone in the hallway flinched.
Bro, stop denting the metal, man. Like, soon you're gonna break even the wall of the school. And then I'm gonna start laughing.
I ate lunch alone at a table by the trash cans, and the loneliness was so sharp it pressed down on me like a physical weight. Drew's scholarship ceremony was Friday, 3 days away. The whole school would be there. Coach would hand him the plaque.
That's 4. Or do I not know how to do math? Guys, comment down below. Is that 3 or 4 that it shows right there? Of circles, excuse me.
With my name scratched off and his.
Let's talk over it.
Ceremony ceremony was Friday, 3 days away. The whole school would be there. Coach would hand him the plaque with my name scratched off and his written on. I ripped my phone off the nightstand and pulled up every screenshot from the night of the party. Drew's texts begging me, "Take the blame. I will owe you forever. I'll keep everything warm. I swear on my life." And then I remembered something. The party. Dozens of people with their phones out. Someone had been filming. I spent 2 days tracking down every person who was at that party. I called everyone in my contacts. Most wouldn't talk to me. 3 hung up the second they heard my name. I drove to the house where the party was and knocked on the door, and the kid who lived there opened it and said, "Drew told me you'd come. I don't have anything for you," and shut it in my face. One kid said he had a Snapchat video of the whole night, but he deleted it. Dead end. I threw my phone across the room so hard it bounced off the wall.
And it broke because this guy has anger issues.
And the screen cracked. I didn't have the video. I threw myself backward on the bed and held the cracked phone above my face. 3 days until the ceremony. 3 days until he walked across a stage and accepted my future with my name scratched off the plaque. An idea hit me so hard I stood up. I didn't need the video. Drew just needed to think I had it. His own fear would do the rest. I told 3 people I had a video from the party that proved Drew threw the kid through the window. I picked 3 people who couldn't keep a secret if you stapled their mouths shut. I told each one a slightly different detail so I'd know which version got back to Drew. By second period, the hallways were buzzing. By lunch, kids I'd never spoken to were walking up to me asking if it was true. Drew cornered me in the hallway. He grabbed the front of my shirt and slammed me against the lockers. "What video? You'll see Friday." "There is no video." "Then why are you sweating?" He shoved me harder. "If you ruin this for me, you ruined everything for me. My scholarship, my girl, my friends, my rep.
And that is how you talk to bullies. Don't let bullies bully you guys, because bullies are not cool. Now I'm just sounding crazy, bro. Stop talking.
Reputation. You told people I was dangerous and they believed you. A teacher won't look at me because of what you said. He let go and stumbled backward, and I could see his hands shaking and the panic flooding his face. Friday, Drew. The whole school's going to be there for your ceremony, and they're going to see exactly what happened. He shoved me one more time and then stormed away and kicked a trash can so hard it bounced off the wall and rolled into the middle of the hallway. Kids scattered. I could see him pulling his phone out with shaking hands as he turned the corner. I leaned against the lockers, and my heart was hammering, and I was grinning because his fear was already doing my job. I didn't have the video, but he didn't know that, and his fear was going to do my job for me. Friday, I barely slept. I got to the auditorium an hour early, and my hands were shaking as I climbed the stairs to the tech booth. I plugged my phone into the projector and tested it twice. The auditorium filled up, every seat taken. Coach stood at the podium with the scholarship plaque. Drew was in the front row in my jacket, looking like he owned the room. My mom was in the back row because I'd asked her to come. I was in the tech booth with my phone plugged into the projector and my hands shaking. Coach started his speech. This year's scholarship goes to an athlete who demonstrated exceptional character and dedication.
False news. False news right there. That is not true. This guy is the one that deserves that scholarship thing.
Could see Drew straightening his jacket from the booth. My jacket. The dread and the determination were fighting in my chest. I pressed play. The screen behind the stage lit up. Not a video of the party, just the texts. Drew's blue bubbles, 30 feet wide. "Bro, please, I'm begging you." Drew's head snapped around. The room rustled. "Take the blame. I will owe you forever." Drew jumped to his feet. His face went white. "I'll keep everything warm. I swear on my life." Pure panic took over Drew's face. He charged the stage. He vaulted over the first row of chairs and knocked a girl's bag off her lap and sprinted up the aisle with his face wild. He tried to jump onto the stage and missed, and scrambled up on his hands and knees and ran toward the tech booth, screaming at the top of his lungs. "Turn it off! That's not what happened! I was there, but I didn't!" He froze. "I was there!" Savage triumph flooded through me. The silence was so thick I could hear him breathing into the microphone he'd grabbed off the podium. A girl in the front row whispered, "Oh my God." A teacher stood up. Dead silence. I stepped out of the tech booth and walked to the front of the stage, and my heart was pounding with a grim, ferocious satisfaction, because every lie he'd told was unraveling, and he'd done it to himself. Drew was standing in the aisle with every eye in the room on him, and his own words hanging in the air like smoke. He tried to recover. "I didn't mean I wasn't. There's no video of the party, Drew." I jumped off the stage and landed in the aisle 3 feet from him. "I never had one." His face crumbled. "You just told 400 people you were there. You just told them it wasn't what happened. You just told them you needed a video turned off because because it could prove something. I held up my phone. All I had were your texts. The ones where you begged me to take the blame. The ones where you swore you'd protect my scholarship.
Smart guy.
Video
That
editor.
is so smart. Comment down below if that's not smart. It's better
Get it
than
today.
somebody random. I have a video of you and not having it and then just revealing that. Comment down below if that's smart or not.
What's up, baby?
Oh, I have another video. Talk with me. Anyways, is that smart? No comment.
Phone. All I had were your texts. The ones where you begged me to take the blame. The ones where you swore you'd protect my scholarship. The ones where you promised you'd fix everything. The screen cycled. His posts. Photos with my friends captioned, "The crew." Photos with my girlfriend captioned, "My girl." A post that said, "Sometimes people leave your life and you realize it was for the better." Side by side with, "You're literally saving my life right now." Drew looked around the room like a trapped animal. He's crazy. He went to juvie because he attacked someone. I had to get a restraining order. My teammates stood up in the
He went to juvie because of him.
fifth row. Nah, you told me the same thing, but those texts are from the night it happened, and I remember you calling me crying about it. Another teammate stood. He told me you threatened him with a knife. I believed him. I'm sorry. Half the auditorium was crying. My girlfriend stood up. Our eyes met, and her chin trembled, and she pressed her hand over her mouth, and turned and walked out, and the door closed behind her, and I felt nothing, because she had made her choice a month ago. Coach stepped to the microphone. His face was gray. Drew turned to him. Did you assault that student at the party? Drew's mouth opened and closed. Did this young man serve a month in detention for something you did? Drew looked around the room.
Not detention, juvenile, to be in fact.
And every face was turned toward him, and not one of them was on his side. Did you use his recommendation letters to take his scholarship? Drew grabbed my jacket off the back of his chair and shoved past the entire row, knocking a girl's bag off her lap. He shouldered through the auditorium doors, and they slammed shut, and the sound echoed off every wall.
Why do the auditorium doors lead outside instead of leading back into the school? Unless if it was a different school. But we'll never know. Because to the school that I went to, none of the auditorium doors went to the outside. But yeah, comment down below guys if your auditorium doors ever led outside or if it's just this guy's auditorium.
Projector was still running. His words still glowed on the wall behind the empty stage. Coach walked down from the podium. He bent down and picked my jacket up off the floor where Drew had dropped it, and I was shaking with so much emotion, I couldn't name all of it. He folded it over his arm and walked it to me and held it out. I think we need to have a conversation about that scholarship. He turned to the room. The ceremony is postponed, effective immediately. He turned back to me. Come to my office Monday. I took the jacket and my hands were shaking, and I put it on, and it still fit. The whole room stood up. The clapping started in the back row and spread forward and built until it was thundering off the walls. My lab partner was standing. The girl who crossed the hallway was standing. My English teacher was standing with tears still on her face. I pressed my face into the collar of my jacket and cried because a month ago, every person in this room thought I was a monster, and now they were standing for me. I shoved through the auditorium doors and into the parking lot. My mom was there. She saw the jacket, and the relief on her face broke something open in me. She sprinted across the parking lot and crashed into me and grabbed the lapels and smoothed them down with her hands. I told that boy this was yours. I held her and cried into her shoulder. 1 month and a bluff to get my life back, but I was standing in it again.
Now we're going to watch another one of his stories. So just give me a minute while I look for it. But anyways guys, comment down below what do you think about that story. Here comes the next one called My Wife. Whoa. Sorry about that. It's called My Wife Crashed on Me, then lost everything. Cheated, I read it wrong. My wife cheated on me and lost everything. Let's watch it.
I drove home so excited that I get to surprise my beautiful wife and 5-year-old daughter. I honestly felt like the luckiest guy alive.
he has a daughter and his wife is cheating on him. Now that's just low, guys. That is so low right there.
I came home early from a business trip and had bought a huge bouquet of her favorite red roses and chocolate truffles. I rushed inside, thrilled beyond belief. When I entered, my daughter rushed out of her bedroom and hugged me in tears. "I'm so happy you're back, Daddy. Hey, darling, what happened? Why are you crying?" She just shook her head, not wanting to say. "Well, look at what I got you." I pulled a brand new teddy bear out of my bag, and she hugged it tightly. "Where's your mommy?" Her eyes bulged in
See, that's a good father right there. The mom, not so good.
fear. "She's in her room with her friend." I thought, that's weird. I held her huge bouquet in my hands, entered the hallway, and approached the closed bedroom door and opened it. Surprise! I had to adjust my eyes when I saw my wife sitting in bed next to another man, sharing a cigarette. I was frozen, horrified, and
I have no words, but if I had to say something, don't do drugs, kids.
speechless. I locked eyes with her, and they both glanced at each other, not sure what to say. I felt a deep betrayal in my gut that turned into a murderous rage. "With our daughter in the other room? Are you people insane?" My wife stuttered and tried to justify. "You weren't supposed to be home until next week. You should have called and told me." My throat tightened in pain. "As if this is somehow my fault? How could you do this? I thought you were happy." She stared at me as if I was a ghost. I glared at the man she was with and felt a murderous rage boiling inside me. Unfortunately, I knew this dick. "Whitman, you piece of crap. Get the hell out of my house." I walked out, went into my daughter's room, and sat next to her. She looked up at me with her...
Sorry guys about the cursing. This is live, by the way. This is not edited or anything, so I'm sorry about the cursing, guys. Yeah, please forgive me.
Big, sad brown eyes. What were they doing in there, Daddy? I felt a sting in my heart and tried not to show her that I was in pain, but she could tell. "It doesn't matter, baby. All I can tell you is that no matter what happens, I will always be there for you, and I love you more than you can imagine." "I love you too." I hugged her tightly. "Pack up a few of your clothes, okay? We're gonna go to a hotel." I walked towards the front door with her, and my wife yelled, "Where the hell do you think you're going with my daughter? To a safe place where she isn't exposed to your madness." Whitman came out behind her.
Bro, put on some clothes on, or at least button down your shirt or something.
"You're a small, pathetic, weak little man. I'm shocked that you're surprised to see your wife with me. Clearly, I'm more of a man than you'll ever be. That's why she chose me, you little weasel." My fists clenched and I felt the veins popping out of my forehead. I wanted to kill him so badly. Then I noticed my daughter watching me with fear in her eyes. I couldn't do it in front of her. She had been through enough. "You're lucky my daughter's here, or I'd end you." We went to a hotel, and 2 days later, I was awoken to a loud knock at my door. I opened it and saw a dainty little man. "You've been served." I read the summons. "A custody hearing? What?" I sat in court and watched Whitman's lawyer prance around and lie his face off. "Your Honor, this man is an unhinged drunk and a serious danger to the well-being..."
Your Honor, this guy is smoking and he cheated. Well, not him, but his wife cheated. I just told you all the truth. Because there's just a theory. No theory.
Of his daughter. I was horrified. I screamed out to the jury, "Everything he just said is a complete lie. Just ask my daughter." "We object, Your Honor." Sustained. I covered my face with my hands in horror. A week later, the judge spoke. "Will the defendant please rise? After hearing both sides clearly, I am giving full custody of your daughter to your wife." My heart sank. Then I saw my poor, sweet little angel fall to her knees and weep. "Please, let me be with my daddy. Please, I want my daddy." Her weeping tore my heart in half. I tried to comfort her. "Stay strong, darling. Daddy will always be here for you. It'll be okay." A month after the trial, they moved into Whitman's big mansion on his private island, and I was left with nothing. But I was...
Oh my god. Now this Whitman guy is flexing on them. Like... Never mind.
not about to go down easily and lay down and die for these jerks.
Vinted to the rescue. Sell what your kids don't need and earn some extra money back. Quick snap. Upload your toy and sell. Sold already. Now on to the next one. If you don't need it, sell it. Download Vinted and start selling today.
not to go down easily and lay down and die for these jerks. I had to make a plan, so I sat across from my FBI agent friend, Argento. Whitman's having a dinner party on his island tomorrow night. I'm going undercover so I can sneak on, kidnap my daughter back and take her to live in Italy. He looked at me like I was completely insane, which I was. I'm only telling you because I know you hate Whitman as well. He nodded. Yeah, I do believe he's an excessively corrupt individual. That's why I'm gonna do you a huge favor. I'm gonna break into his safe and take pictures of all of his transactions. You'll have everything you need to bring him down. He grinned, excited at the possibility. What do you need from me? A speedboat. The next day, I snuck up to a small cove near the shore of Whitman's Island and started changing into my catering outfit, bow tie and all. In exactly 24 hours, Argento has arranged for a speedboat to pick me up at the shore. In my backpack, I had a marine GPS, a handheld radio, a flare gun, a prepaid cell phone, a small dive flashlight, a safe cracking mechanism, and a knife, just in case. I had also dyed my hair blonde and grew a goatee, just in case I served my ex-wife. Plus, I paid $600 for 2 Italian passports and 2 one-way tickets to Italy. I made sure everything was in my bag, went to leave the cove, then saw a Latin man glaring at me. What are you doing back here? Oh, sorry. I just wanted to change in privacy. I'm way early for the catering gig. He squinted his eyes and stared directly at me. I don't remember seeing your picture on the catering list. I was a last-minute addition. I replaced someone. Your boss didn't inform me of that. Sorry. He gets distracted. You mean she? My heart dropped. Terror creeped up in me. Was I seriously about to be busted this early? She, right. I've done so many of these gigs. I forget who I work for sometimes. Look, this is not the gig to be messing around. Whitman's security team are all trained killers, and I don't mean that as a metaphor. If they catch any of my staff out of line, it falls back on me, and they will bring down the harshest punishments. My gut churned. I understand, sir. I'll be on my best behavior. You better be. I'll see you over at the catering tent in 20 minutes. He walked away, and I could breathe again. I headed towards the mansion. I studied the premises and clocked how many exits there were and where each one led out to. I memorized how many security guards were standing at each exit and where they weren't. I'm no soldier. I'm just a desperate...
Sorry guys, I meant to pause it like sooner, but I was doing something, but anyways, what he was saying, he has a really good mind, and this guy memorizing all of that is just crazy. I can't even memorize all of that, not even if I tried.
Data analyst with a belly full of rage and a justified goal to save my daughter. There was a marble dock, a gravel road, and the main house was the size of a small hotel. There was a guest compound, a helicopter pad, and a service area where the catering trucks were already unloading. The security men wore dark polos and walked the perimeter on a 20-minute loop. There were 6 of them I could count, plus the head of security, a man named Burke, who was built like a refrigerator covered in tattoos. I checked.
Damn, bro just roasted the head of the thing. That's just crazy. A refrigerator with the tattoos. That's just crazy. Continuing.
In with my boss. Go work on making salads. I made my way into the kitchen, and as I stepped into the hallway, I saw my ex-wife, Whitman, and my daughter, Sophie, all being led in from a back door. My heart sank as I watched this asshole holding my daughter's hand. I could tell by the look on Sophie's face, she was forced to hold his hand. My ex-wife had a cold, stoic look that showed me her new life was not all it was cracked up to be. I kept my head down as I passed them, and they didn't even acknowledge I existed. I was the help, and Whitman acted like the powerful elitist. These types pretend the help doesn't exist. My anger grew.
See, I feel like both of them had it up better. Sorry. Alright. Back to what I was saying. See, I think both of them had a better life when they were with this guy than with this new guy that is totally drunk. So, yeah.
After seeing this loser prancing around my daughter as if she owed him something, I felt the sadness coming from Sophie and wanted to just grab her in my arms and run away. But I knew I had to be smart. I whispered to myself, I'll get you out of here soon enough, darling. There were about 50 guests here for dinner, and I was assigned a table far away from where my daughter was at the main table. I waited for dessert, then slipped out of the kitchen with a tray of glassware, walked the long way around the back of the house, set the tray down behind a hedge, and went up the service downstairs into the back of the West Wing. I snuck into Whitman's office, checked for any surveillance cameras, made sure the coast was clear, and went over to his safe. I plugged in my safe-cracking device and saw the numbers start turning, trying to locate the secret code. Each minute that went by felt like an eternity. The safe cracker read 70% solved, then 80% solved, then 90% solved. The door handle to the office opened up, and I ducked down behind Whitman's desk. I managed to hide the safe cracking device with a folded napkin, so whoever was inside.
We'll probably just take it out and go.
Tubi, free movies and live TV. Hide the safe cracking device with a folded napkin, so whoever was inside wouldn't be able to see it. I peeked around the edge of the desk, and my guts went into knots when I saw Whitman enter and approach his desk. I curled up, closed my eyes, and hid below his desk in a panic. I held my breath, terrified.
Yo, wait. Those are some nice looking shoes right there that bro has. Those are nice looking shoes. Sorry, I just wanted to speak about that.
I could do serious prison time if I got caught right now. From my POV, I could see his feet on the other side of the desk. He went to search for something, didn't find it, then made his way around to the front of his desk, a lot closer to where I was hiding. I curled up into the tiniest ball I could and stayed as still as possible. He was 2 feet away from me, and if he actually sat down at his desk, he would see me for sure. He opened up a drawer, took something out, and then my heart pounded when the beeping sound of my safe cracking device went off. It had opened up the safe successfully. Whitman stiffened. He turned to try and see where the sound came from, and I shook my head in rage because there was no way he wouldn't catch me now, especially if he sees his safe has been opened. He was about to walk over to check on his safe when his head of security walked in. "Sir, your wife wanted me to tell you that she needs you to make a toast." "Ah, right. Okay. I got..."
Wife? What do you mean by wife? That is a stolen girl right there, thanks to Whitman or whatever his name is.
Lucky as hell because he walked out. I waited a few seconds, then rushed over to his safe, opened it up, and took out a case file labeled Transactions. I took pictures of every name, number, receipt, and amount of money.
I don't really think that's how taking pictures work. It's mostly in that white button. For all the iPhone users who know what I'm talking about. Because this is is it an iPhone? Looks like an Android. Maybe an Android, maybe an iPhone, I don't know, one or the other. But yeah, that's how they work.
Through 10 pages. I went to text every picture to Argento, then realized I had no reception at all. This island was too remote, and Whitman didn't want anyone being able to contact anyone on the outside. I climbed out of the window, and then saw I was 1 floor above the ground. There were some bushes below, and I awkwardly climbed out of the window, dangled as low as I could so the fall wouldn't be as hard, then dropped. I landed hard on the grass and turned my ankle a bit. Ah, crap! It wasn't a bad sprain, but it hurt. I stood up, turned the corner of the house, and bumped right into Burke, the head of security. "What the hell are you doing here?" "Hello, sir. Sorry, I was looking for the bathroom and got totally lost." He glared at me. As I grew terrified, he...
Oh my gosh. Ugh. That is the best lie I have ever heard. "Sorry, sir, I was looking for the bathroom and I got totally lost. I ended up outside. I don't know how I got here. I was probably sleepwalking."
No, I was lying. I looked down at the ground, and he got closer to me. "I smell bullshit. Why are you all nervous? I've just heard that you guys are seriously badass dudes that are not to be messed with, and I guess it scares me." It did. His hard exterior broke into a smile, and he smacked me hard on my shoulder. "That's right. Don't you forget it. And the bathroom's that way, idiot." He walked away, and I let out a sigh of relief. I made it back to the catering truck and saw my boss. "Where the hell have you been?" "I just called security. I was searching for the bathroom, sir." "Stop lying. Our portables are right there." He pointed to the portable bathrooms, and then I saw Burke and 2 security guys approaching us. Burke saw me. "Yeah, I already saw that dope. He's fine. My boss had it out for me." "No, he's doing something weird because he knew the bathrooms were right there." Burke tensed up, glared at me. His security guards also stared daggers at me. I didn't know what else to do but run. I took off in the opposite direction and made my way towards the back of the house. Burke and his 2 security guards chased me, but I was a lot quicker. All that muscle definitely slowed them down. I made it to a side window and hid behind an air conditioning generator. The security guys passed by me, and as they did, I heard Burke speak into his walkie. "We got a code 9. We got a code 9. Don't alert the guests just yet, but..."
Code 9. What's code 9? Let me search it up real quick. What does code 9 mean in security? Let's see here. What does code 9 mean in security? What does code 9 mean in security? According to Google, it says the security law code 9 typically means set up a roadblock or hold all non-emergency radio traffic.